for Fraser, and playing centre stage against one of the best players in the world. Something to look forward to, or should be. But as we always say with it, for the underdog, so to speak, a good start's imperative.
Without doubt, yes. The best of 11, of course, gives them a little bit more time to settle than the normal best of 9s or best of 7s as they're playing the PTCs. I have to admit I haven't seen Fraser play before, and I've heard a lot about him. He's a good all-round player. I've been looking through his stats, and doesn't appear to be a great break builder as far as winning frames at one visit. So it'll be interesting to see, because I think he'll have to compete with Judd in that department if he's got any chance today.
Well, a bit way off with that first attempt at the long pot. But the one thing with that, you always err on the side of hitting it too thin, and then hopefully you can get the cue ball back to the baulk end, but catching a red. But he's not left anything. And there's a new face, and his first time on the TV table. Ben Williams, new referee. Looks like you don't want to mess around with Ben. If he says it's a foul, it's a foul.
That's pretty good. I thought he'd misjudged it for a moment when he was playing for that loose red. It could have gone wrong, that. As mentioned in the pre-match interview with John and I with John Parrott, this young man beat Ryan Day in the previous round, and I'm a very big fan of Ryan Day. So that tells me enough about this man to tell me he's a very good player.
This red closest to the cue ball. He can pot it into the right corner. He needs to find the gap, though. He found the gap, and he's found the pocket.
Thank you. Go on.
Unfortunately, he's overhit the cue ball, and he's on nothing. So just a safety shot. A very aggressive one. Very aggressive, playing the yellow into the reds as he did. You could say it'd have been unlucky if Judd could have got through to this red over the corner, which he can't, it's covered by the brown, but then he'd have been unlucky to leave it. It was aggressive.
Like that shot, absolutely.
Safety.
Like it.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. He'd have been unlucky to leave the red. So thinking positive.
I don't think Judd's got any option here just to roll up to this red. Obviously the in-off's going to be a problem, but I don't think he can hit the cushion and cut it in. It's too wide.
It's almost impossible this to avoid the in-off, really. Well, he's trying the pot, and I agree with you. I mean, that was a bit dangerous and could cost him if he's left the red to the right corner.
First glance, as we see this again, I don't think he has left a red. We may have to play the red that looks available with a lot of left-hand side to pot it. We'll have a little closer look now. Maybe it's just on, he can bend it.
Yeah, but can he get on a colour? If you're going to take a risk on a red, you always feel that if you can guarantee getting position on the colour, then it's worth the risk. If you can't, then it's not.
Well, that's a weak safety shot.
Yeah, how many times do we see that where he's had a look at the red, wondering whether to play it, decided not to risk it, and just didn't put any thought whatsoever into the safety. Should be on the baulk cushion. He didn't even reach the baulk line. Careless. He's got away with it.
This red's on, but if the black's not available, it's no advantage really, unless you can. I don't know what cue power he has. You need plenty of it to get up for the pink or the blue.
Well, as it turns out, he just tried to hold it. I'd be a little bit disappointed to have missed that. It was one of those, though, just off straight. Didn't cue it too bad. You find this a lot, though, in the first frame. It's just settling down, and even though you've spent probably a couple of hours on the practice table this morning, it's nothing like being out in the arena.
Yes, we're down to 4 tables now. The tables at the back of the arena that were in play for matches before there, you can see it. And now practice tables behind, so players have got a chance to practice. It was tough to practice in the first week. Well, neither player has settled, neither player has played a good safety shot yet, so it certainly will get better.
Yes, played the thin contact, missed it. Hit the second red, but doesn't look to have left anything. Although you can never tell with Judd, he is a very aggressive player, but just playing safe. But if he goes to the balk end, if he doesn't cover the red near the balk line, then he's just making it that much easier for Fraser to play a better safety, and he's not covered the red. Caught that much too thick. Unlucky in a way that he didn't make contact with the blue. Just a little grimace there, just feels as though he's not hitting the ball correctly at the moment. And I'd agree with that. And there's another one that's too thick. Fraser can't believe that one either.
They have been recovered though, John, so whether they're playing a little bit slower off the cushions today with them being brand new cloths.
Yeah, could well be.
Good opening pot there from Judd, and we know what a great breakboard he is. It's just a case of getting the black back in play, and this is half a chance. I was already looking for the red on the black spot off this shot, but I don't know how he's going to get there. The cloth seemed to be heavy, doesn't it? A lot of heavy contacts.
Yeah, well, he immediately asked for the cue ball to be clean, so maybe he's got a bit of, well, but you see there, you could see the cue ball bouncing before it made contact with the brown. And that's the problem. If you're not cueing smooth, you're just stroking down, you should watch the cue ball start to bounce as soon as he hits it. See, it left the bed of the table. And if it's just coming down when it hits the brown, all the pace will be taken out of it. But he was still on the red. Interesting to see when the pink's re-spotted how available it will be. But it's a decent chance. The reds are nicely spread. Now, is there plenty of room around the pink? Oh, plenty.
12.
As long as it's available into one corner pocket, you feel happy enough.
$13.
Well, it's really noticeable, John, how much slower they're coming off the cushions than they were yesterday.
Mm.
Well, if you needed an evidence of cue power, that was it.
19.
Well, that was an excellent shot.
And how hard is it, John, to play that shot plain ball?
Yeah, that's true, because there was no side. You'd
Exactly.
have seen it when it came off the cushion.
I mean, normally a player would play that with right-hand
20.
side just to help the pot, and of course then the white would come near the blue spot, but it's just come down in exactly a straight line. Great shot.
And for all you aspiring snooker players, on these super fine cloths, the more you can hit the ball, plain ball, and cut out the side, the more consistent you'll start potting balls. Because you use side on these cloths now, and
27.
it's one of the main reasons that easy shots are missed.
$28.
Just overrun that slightly. It's amazing, isn't it? You think the tables run a little bit slow, and then... Well, let's have a look at this again. Just watch the cue ball, the arc on it. And as Willie said, plain ball, maybe just a little touch of right-hand side, but not too much. Knew he had to come down the left-hand side of the table. Playing the pink, he'd rather play the black. But played it well, good pot, nice control.
34.
Good opportunity this now.
$35.
Seen a lot of improvement, John, in Judd's game this year. I don't know about yourself, I've been watching him closely, and you mentioned at the top of the show how much his all-round shot selection has improved, but I just think he's queuing back to where he was 2 or 3 years ago. His long game looks
42.
excellent.
Yeah, we say many times, don't we, that people, instead of just stroking through the ball, are just hitting it too hard, and I think Judd
43.
had that problem. And also, I didn't think he gave enough care and attention to his safety. And in the modern game, you've got to have a safety game. You can't just get through these tournaments potting alone. As Ronnie O'Sullivan proves every time he plays. I mean, we're all going about Ronnie's
49.
potting break building, but his safety play is as good as anyone.
50.
As is Neil Robertson, Mark Selby. You've got to have that B game, if you like. And I think Judd, the last couple of times I've watched him play, has developed that.
And this has been a very impressive break when you consider
56.
the black spot was covered, the pink was only available into one corner pocket. He's
57.
taken these very well indeed. He's 56 in front, one more red, and he'll take the opening frame.
$63.
That's just this red to go 64,
64.
well, 63 points in front. And that pink will mean that Fraser Patrick will not be coming back to the table.
70.
Potted one
71.
red. Played a good safety, really. Playing safe off the yellow to open up the reds, but then a couple of bad safety shots followed and just made the most of this opportunity.
And they're going right into the middle of the pocket now as well. Be interesting to see how he
77.
tries to get onto one of these last 2 reds after the next killer.
78.
As we've just been talking about how slow they're coming off the cushion, that appeared to be a quick bounce off that cushion.
Well, this will test him.
Black ball.
Well, it was a tremendous shot, but tremendous action on it.
85.
Well, he may be able to pot this red. Come cushion first. No, unlucky.
Good trump, 85.
But that's more than enough to keep Fraser Patrick in his seat. So, perfect start for Judd Trump. He leads 1-0.
I think we're seeing that. I think he's using his maturity. The worrying thing for Fraser, and that is, when you play players like Trump and O'Sullivan and White, you need a good start. You need to punish them when your chances come up. He didn't do that in the first frame there, so he needs to settle down.
Okay, 85 in the first, and we go to the second.
Pretty good break off. No pot available. In a few seconds' time and a few moments' time, we get the chance to see that shot on the black that Steve was talking about, and it was a remarkable shot.
Fowler
That's
missed.
twice he's played a thin one down that side
Good
of the
trump
table,
four.
and twice he's missed it. The thing is,
One.
when you make a bad start, it's amazing how these fast players, all of a sudden you can find yourself 2 or 3-0 behind and you don't feel like you've even started.
Yeah, and that's the problem. You need to... Well, as John Parrott said, when you get your chances, you need to take them. And, of course, when you're at the table... This is the shot he played. Look at the
6.
side he got on that. Reminded me very much of that famous clearance of Alex Higgins when he played
7.
a blue like that and screwed off the other side with a tremendous amount of side. He's got all the shots as Judd.
He's going to be hard to beat this week, John, the way he's queuing. He really is queuing at the top of his game.
14. 15.
Yeah, I think as long as he keeps control of his, you know, and sometimes if you've got all the ability in the world and you think you can pot and everything, then you go for that one shot too many.
22.
As I say, just recently I've noticed signs that he's beginning to
23.
control that natural ability.
Might play the arc shot here into the side of the pack, knowing that he's bound to be on a red. Just keep an eye on the cue ball here. Yeah, well, played it absolutely to perfection. Arced it into the bunch, knowing that he's bound to have the stopper there at the back of the pack. You couldn't do that without that last red being there. Stopped the white from going on the cushion. That played it perfectly. Well played.
31.
Yes, and I always feel, and I know when you commentate and people say to me about the break building side of it, you need the confidence to really look. So as soon as you get a chance, go into them, open them up, and that's when a player is full of confidence, when he's going to play that attacking type of game and thinking, I'm going to win the frame in one visit.
That's why I talk often about the top players, John, that they look at situations like that and realise they can get them open nice and early. Players outside the top 8, top 16, they tend to be a little bit negative. They're happy to get 30 or 40. At this level now, you've got to win a frame when you get the opportunity to do so in one visit.
Yep, but it's easier said than done to have that attitude of mind. But Judd has certainly got it, and as you say, as of all the top players.
$39.
Caught the second red a bit full, so he knew he couldn't get on the black, but he also knew he'd be on the pink.
That was a nice little cannon he played there, knowing he had to kiss that red half ball to stay on it. And this now has become an excellent chance for the first century in this match. I'd be surprised now if he doesn't make one where the balls are.
Pink spot obviously not available, so going as close to its own spot as it can in a direct line with the middle of the top cushion. Because
45.
there's no other spots available.
$46. 53.
in the space of just over 4 minutes. He's virtually got this frame won.
54.
Just overrun it slightly, that. Not guaranteed to get onto the outside red here. He's able to play it slow enough to hold for that one. Thought it was a little bit thinner than that, which meant the white would have run away a little bit further.
59. $60.
And he's looking very good.
Yeah, just this blue and one more red. And we'll be in the snooker's required stage.
That's about the
65.
first poor positional shot he's played. He did play the cannon, but underhit it slightly. Just need a little bit more pace on that, but that's exactly what he played to free the pink.
66.
Yeah, and no need to play the cannon, you only need one more red, but I think he's got eyes on a century here. That's good, the crowd love to see one.
And should he get one, John, it would be his 300th. So it's a bit of a milestone.
73.
I mentioned a few times on commentary, I've had the pleasure of knowing Judd since he's been about 12 years old. When my brother Mount, the late Mount Thorne, used to have junior tournaments at clubs in Leicester and Colville, and he used to play in every one of them and win 99% of them. That's how good he's been since a very early age. Not too many players have got past the 300 mark.
79.
Amazing enough, he's only made one century
80.
so far. If he remains in the tournament, there'll be plenty more. It's on a string, John, at the moment.
Very
86.
good and lovely to watch.
87.
I don't know whether Fraser Patrick will agree with those sentiments, but he knew he was going to be in for a tough game, and he knows he's got to play good safety and try and keep Judd at bay.
94.
Well, at least I've got the chance to
95.
say well done to Judd Trump in reaching the 300 club after this pink. Congratulations and well played. That's 300 competitive centuries in tournament play. Excellent performance.
101. 102.
110 was his highest century in an earlier match. Looks like being eclipsed here. An exhibition shot, not worried about getting the highest break, because that's at the minute 142 from Stuart Bingham.
109.
And of course he couldn't get that here. This has just been absolutely top draw. What a
111.
wonderful break this has been. Are we going to see a few exhibition
114.
shots now? He loves to entertain. Here we go. Not quite the desired effect,
118.
but still got the same result. Keep an eye on this one. That might check up again. There it goes. What a brilliant shot. That checked up off 2 cushions.
Yeah, the side went the other way, didn't it? Marvellous.
Go on, Judd. This is very, very pleasurable to watch. It really is.
29.
Which pocket do you think, Will?
Any one of 6, John. Oh, what a boring attempt that was. What a fabulous break from Judd Trump. Go and entertain the crowd, and that's what he does. That's why people come to watch him. A fabulous break, his second of the tournament, and that takes him into a 2-0 lead.
Fraser Patrick
I
to
think
break.
what you've got to realise, Judd's probably got another 10 or 15 years where he can play at this level, Ilikin mass enough money to then start worrying about the flash cars and all the nice times and things. You know, give yourself a chance, and that's what he has done over the last season and a half. I'm really impressed with the way he's playing at the moment.
Not the best break off there from Fraser. Left a chance of this pot. And at the moment he didn't like missing much. Run past the baulk line, but you just know if he's got any kind of angle on the brown, he'll be playing the pot on the brown. And just got a slight angle. Just enough to be able to run through, and he didn't try to overhit that. He knew the brown was missable, so made certain of the brown.
Six.
Just about okay on the black, and he may go into them here because he's still got the two loose reds. Well, how's your luck? He's a little unlucky there. They look to be
13.
a choice of two reds to the right middle, but they've covered one another. But for all the world that there was going to be at least one available.
I think the practice is done with Ronnie O'Sullivan, because that's the shot that Ronnie plays with. It's the outside of the pack with stun rather than Scrooge on, doesn't he? And that opens them up. He just looks like not missing at the moment.
14.
And when you're playing this well, you get the run of the ball, and that run of the ball has turned out to be perfect on the pink.
Well, absolutely. The potting angle couldn't have been better, as it turned out, to come round off 3 cushions. Perfect on the pink. Get the pink down at this end, which is obviously he'd love to do. If he feels as though he can't get back to this end comfortably, as we watched that, and it finished up absolutely perfect. Look, round off the 3 cushions on the pink. He'd love to play the pink, but if it's not right, well, I was going to say he'll play the yellow. Anything that gets you down here at the business end. And in actual fact, the yellow's going to come down at this end, but I think he'll be concentrating on the black and the blue. You don't get much
17.
for potting the yellow, do you?
Only 2, John, unfortunately, but Fraser will be wondering what's happened to him here. He sat down, he's potted 1 ball, played a couple of bad safety shots, and in a few minutes' time, he may be 3-0 behind.
Just 1 point against his
24.
name.
And he led 1-0, John, so everything else is without reply.
And the way the balls are, and the way Judd's queuing at the moment, Fraser maybe sat there thinking that this is another frame gone by, and they're going by pretty quickly.
Now, we're aware that Ronnie O'Sullivan is now the kind of people's champion, as it
32.
were, but as far as entertainment's concerned, this young man's taken over from Higgins and White as far as the most aggressive player in the game. He does play some shots.
33.
He's obviously didn't have the correct angle on the blue here. The 2 reds are causing him a problem. The 2 reds that came together just to the right of the blue there. Played that nicely. Played for choice of red there. Either side of the yellow. There's both the reds on in both pockets.
38. $39.
Will he play a little cannon here on the right hand, one of the 2 reds above the black? Decided against it, was too straight.
Just asking the referee to clean the cue ball. First time he's cleaned a
46.
cue ball. on television. Did it well.
47.
So 47 points the lead. They're all covering one another. He doesn't really want to play for the red in the balk end because it's one of those tricky ones. So well, he's thinking about playing for it. Just that the two reds just below the yellow are tied up. The two reds, as Willie said, near the right middle are a little bit awkward. Now he's got the one to the left corner,
50.
or if he pots this one with the rest, of course it'll release the red next to it. So if he can pot this and get on a colour, this should be the frame winner.
Thank you.
No problem.
51.
You can't see him missing now. It's a lonely old seat. Came out, I'm certain, Fraser, with hopes of playing his best, but he's not had much opportunity. As Willie said, he's played a few poor safety shots, but apart from that, you wouldn't say he's missed anything.
58.
Hasn't had a shot at a colour yet, John. The red he potted, he didn't get on a colour, so he played safe.
59.
Ooh, that only just scraped in. So just the red needed to get to the snooker three-player
66.
stage. This red goes 67 ahead with only 59 remaining. Impressive.
67. $74.
Well, this quite simply has been
75.
flawless. Just coming up to 33 minutes. And we're already looking at 3-0. And doesn't miss a trick. Wants to move every ball into play when it's possible.
82. $83.
This cue ball needs to bounce. Just not quite enough, but he may play for the red near the baulk cushion now. Once again, a pot that went right in the heart of the pocket. Just wants an angle on this red, just doesn't want to be too straight. I know the frame's over, but he'd love to go back-to-back centuries. And now no reason why he won't.
It's amazing, doesn't it? If you're going bad, you kiss that brown full ball, end up on the baulk line and get nothing. But he played it so much side.
This time the pink will go on the highest available, which is the brown spot.
97. 98.
So this for century break, 301 in his career. Well played. He was a bit disappointed there. He knew that when he potted the blue, it wasn't going to be good as he should be on the yellow, but it just gave him a chance to entertain the crowd. How does he get on the green? Just like that.
105.
I've got to be honest, John, this is one of the best potting displays I've seen. I haven't seen somebody pot so consistently with so many outrageous shots.
112.
Yeah, and choosing the right time to play. And when the frame's over, I don't mind. He had a tendency sometimes to be playing these type of shots before the frame was over. But another superb shot,
117.
deep screw, with left-hand side, swing it round off the cushions.
$123.
His position's bad now, John.
Near the cushion. Schoolboy error. Well played, superb. The boy's on fire.
Good trump.
3-0 Judd Trump.
Judd on this form.
He's scored 1 point so far, and you've got a feel for this young man because he's making his TV debut and he's up against a real force of nature at the moment.
Well, they're wonderful words, Hazel, and that's what it is at the moment. You just can't play any better than Judd's just played in the opening 3 frames. Impossible. Now, Fraser, you've got to find the top cushion. Better, but just a little bit too hard. Well, here's one of the spectacular shots, and just unbelievable. This next one we're going to show you is very, very special. Almost, he tried to actually kiss into the red away from the cushion. And there may be one more we can show you which was even more special. Hello? Phone the police, he's human. He does miss. And look at this little shot he's played as well here. It actually checks up there and then checks back again. Finished perfect on the pink. Now Fraser. I know you haven't had any table time at all, but you know yourself, you need to get a frame on the board just before this mid-set interval, and what a time to try and do it.
Yeah, this is one of the hardest parts of the game of snooker. He's been frozen out for 3 frames, and now he's got to take this opportunity, and he knows that if he does make any mistake that he's going to be severely punished. He knows the form that Judd's in. Looks like this red just goes. Well, maybe he thinks it doesn't. It looks like it does. Going up
9.
for a baulk colour. Looks like it goes, doesn't it?
Well, I can't believe it doesn't, John, to be honest. And he's not bound to get a good position on the red to get nicely on the black to move that red away. So it was an ideal opportunity to play it. But when you've not had any table time at all, you're just trying to look for something easy.
Looks to have played that nicely. Got the red to the right corner. The black will definitely pot.
12. $13.
Doesn't have the angle to bounce the black on and off the cushion. If he thinks that red doesn't pot, it's pointless trying to play for it here.
Well, he had the perfect angle on that red before, and to me it does pot, but he didn't think it did.
Just got to finish low on this next black, John, hasn't he? And he can flick the red away to save any problems.
Delicate little respotting for
20.
referee Ben Williams.
What a thrill it is for his debut on the television table to witness what he just has in the previous 3 frames.
Yeah, and Judd Trump certainly kept him on his toes. Well, there you go. Now the red clearly goes, doesn't it? Wouldn't blame the referee
21.
because sometimes it just nestles into the bed of the... And he can just rock one way or the other. But now we can see the red clearly goes. Get a bust through there, but he has the angle where he can just nudge the red to be certain. He's okay. He's okay, just about all right. Just nudged the red a
28.
little bit away from the black, so he was certain to go. Considering
29.
he has been frozen out, he's doing quite well at the moment. Can he win the frame at this visit, though? Come a little bit low on this red. It's not straightforward now. Straighter on it. Can roll through and play for the black. He hasn't got the blue on its spot, so not certain to be on a colour here. Oh, but just the cannon off the second red well. Yep, and that was a nice shot, nice cannon. Got the frame at his mercy now.
44.
Well, having sat out 348 points without
45.
reply, this is an excellent break. Should play the cannon into the pink here just to free the pink.
And this is the thing about snooker. No matter how good you are, no matter how well you're playing, when your opponent's at the table, you sit in your seat
52.
and there's nothing you can do about it. Judd Trump has played 2.5 frames of probably the best snooker we've seen for many a year. He makes one mistake and he's having to sit there and there's nothing he can do about it. Look at the pot success. 94% each.
53.
Sometimes stats tell a lie. That's probably one there, isn't it?
Yeah. Not a true reflection of what's happened, but the facts are he's got this chance, Fraser, and he's not missed yet, and he's only a few pots away from clinching this important fourth frame.
Yes, once he gets on a red to be able to get round the pink and black again, he should definitely win the frame of this visit. So this is a key shot here. Needs to get back onto the black, and then it makes it a little bit simple at this end of the table.
Just not inch perfect.
55.
So it's a testing pot he's got here. Well played. Well played.
56.
Just slightly thick on that one, so he's going to miss the kiss on the blue here and play for the two reds to the right of the pink. Well, he's played for the one in baulk first, which, where the blue was, I don't see the point of doing that, but has he been okay? Can he get through to the red?
59.
His body language tells us he can. So he misjudged that, obviously played to come to the right of the blue. Put himself under the cost,
Fraser
didn't he, with that
Patrick,
previous shot.
59.
I don't know why he played for the red in baulk there, and he knows.
Well, he did play for the red in baulk, and he'd be very disappointed to have missed it. It was all going along so nicely. But it looks as though he may have got away with it. 59 points the lead, 75 remaining, but no pot for Judd to go at. Couldn't have done much more then. The one thing he has done is put the cue ball tight against the top cushion, so it's not going to be easy to get this safe. And of course there's no easy run off the red to the baulk end, because there's a red in that area of the table, which would leave Judd either a pot or an easy safety.
Yeah, I think the match is all on this frame, John, isn't it? If he loses from 59 in front, he'll be horrified going into the interval, because he knows this frame should have been already on the board. Has to win this frame. Is he taking the cut on in the middle? There is a gap between brown and green, and he can get back down on the black, amazing enough. No, he's played the safety. Don't blame him at all, because putting another red on the cushion is definitely helping. That's a very clever shot. Well played.
Good cueing needed here. And got wonderful shot.
I think it's a good job he tied those two reds up at the top of the table, John.
The only thing is, with those two reds being together in that balk end, he may
8.
get a chance, Judd Trump, to bring them into play off one of the balk colours.
9.
He's misjudged that. Well, he's making out as though he got a bounce off the cushion.
I think he needed a bit of side there, John, didn't he? Hit it plain ball.
Yep.
Probably meant to put a bit of right-hand side on and didn't get it on.
Big ball. Judd
Well,
Trump.
surprised. He run out of position. So the score. Fraser Patrick, 50 points in front.
And he didn't,
59 remaining.
and he didn't want to move these reds, John, did he, really? Because Judd will move them at the next visit, so very lucky for the pink to come in front of those reds. Because now whoever pots the next red, you'd fancy to win the frame.
Can he play off this red and slip the cue ball behind the pink? Delicate little shot this, you know, you're frightened of the double hit. This is the way I'd play it, try and get in behind the pink. Not quite. Oh, has he left the pot on? Has this red cut back? I'm sure it does. Does it?
Maybe just a fraction too high. Whatever Judd does here, want to keep the red in play. He won't, I mean, the easy shot is to play it thin and get in behind the pink, but he'll be pushing the red on the side cushion, so he doesn't want to do that.
Well, he could pot it. It was a tough one. Now, how's he look?
Surely he's not got away with that. Oh, wow.
Has it ever been any different, this game, Willie? When you're playing well and you don't need any luck, you always seem to get it.
Oh, that's unbelievable, that piece of luck there. Goodness me.
Yeah? Another roll, and he'd have had an easy red to clinch the frame with. It's a cruel game sometimes.
Well, it's not beyond the realms of possibility that Judd could play the pot in the middle here, but it's so easy to get in behind the black. Now Fraser's got to be really careful with this safety shot.
Yeah, 50 points in it, 59 remaining, so yeah, he could do it with blues with these four reds, Judd, if he was to get the opportunity. That's well played, though. That's very well played.
And what a reply that was as well. And in fairness, I can't see how he can get back to the black end of the table here. Yellow's in the way down the left-hand side. If he plays thin off the three reds, the right-hand one of the three, he'll do well to avoid the cannon on the one that's nearest the pocket.
Yeah, I think that's the only option, really. I don't see any other shot. Follow the white line all the way. Oh, and he's run across the red. That's careless. The one thing you had to do and make certain he didn't go across the red.
I suppose it could have been worse. He could have made contact with it and made it an easy pot, because this red's no certainty. But it's gone, so positional shot from black to red's going to be slightly tough. He needs some sort of angle. He has got a slight angle. Now it looks that the top red of those two will pot in the green pocket, as we call it. He's going to have to play this powerfully. You may see the white bounce here. You'll have to hit this really hard to get the white up near that red. Has he fluked it? Has he fluked it? You can't fluke that, surely. What is happening here?
Well, at the moment, Fraser, it's not your day.
8.
Yeah, mate.
Have you ever seen a fluke from that pocket go in the middle like that? I've never seen that.
It's absolutely amazing, this game.
9.
It can't go in that middle pocket, can it? And it has.
Yeah. And if this cue ball slows up, which it is doing, we've got a new favourite for this frame.
16.
How, I don't know.
Well, he's sitting there and he's just wondering, what's it all about?
$17.
I suppose the only thing he can pin his hopes on is the fact that Judd's got to get from pink to black. He's going to need red colour and the 6 remaining
19.
colours to win this frame. So there's a bit of hope for you, Fraser.
Just wonder whether Judd will, if he does get up to the brown, whether he'll try and pot the brown and bring the pink into play, knowing where the blue is. If the blue was on its spot, it'd be too risky, but even if you kissed the pink and left the white where the pink is, at least he's got a pot on the pink.
Yeah, just had a look at the scoreboard. No matter which colour he plays off this red, it doesn't make any difference. He needs to clear up. In a way, you feel that Fraser deserves another opportunity, because it's criminal, really, what's happened in the last couple of shots. The one where Judd snookered him on the easy red, and then that outrageous fluke on the black.
20.
I agree with Judd trying to leave the... I'd prefer to leave the blue where it is, so he does have that chance from playing that cannon on the pink from the brown. But playing the blue, now, for me, that's a mistake, because he won't be able to play that cannon now. So pink to black, as you rightly say, John's going to be the key ball.
$25. $27.
I suppose even if he finished on the brown half ball, he could play the cannon on the pink. As long as he hit the pink thin, the white would come into open play and he'd have some sort of shot on the blue. So that's what he's looking at now. I mean, he's such an aggressive player, Judd. He'll be looking for every opportunity to get that pink into play. It's a lonely place. Now then, I don't
30.
think that's going to come high enough. Or does he have the angle to play the deep screw and hit the pink half ball? He may have. Just slashed at that, didn't he?
Judd
Yep.
trump, 30.
That was the old Judd trump there, wasn't it? That was the old Judd trump. That was no real control in that shot. Maybe he thinks the game's too easy, just hits them, they're going to go in somewhere. So he hasn't lost the frame to that outrageous fluke, but the way the ball's out, if Judd was to get a chance of the brown, you'd fancy him to win the frame. So there's a lot of pressure here on Fraser. Well, there could be a chance here. He only needs the brown, but I think it's just stopped short enough so it doesn't pass the pink. No, it doesn't. If you're playing a cross double or the up and down, you've got to be very wary here of the double kiss.
Just go off. You can see the centre of the pocket here. I know what you're saying, John. He can't hit the right-hand jaw, but oh dear. Oh, he's lucky that white. If it jawed or went in off, that would have been an easy opportunity for Judd.
Excellent shot. Very well played. Very well played indeed. Well, it's just bounced a little bit harder than was necessary. Whether it would tempt Fraser into playing the pot, I doubt it, because it's one of those, it's that thin that if you miss it and get close, you'll leave it in the jaws of the pocket. Will you risk playing the up and down? I think that's the shot to play, the safety. Up and down, trying to bring the brown back towards the black. And on a good day, sometimes you can knock the black to the top cushion. Because at the moment, all the colours are in the open. On a good day, you can knock the black to the top cushion. Just needed to hit it a little bit harder. But a good safety, nevertheless.
Just wondering whether Judd will risk trying to get in behind the pink here with the cue ball. He's just looking whether the in-off is on, meaning the in-off to pot the brown, not the in-off with the white. I suppose if he plays that shot, he'd do well to miss the kiss on the blue with the cue ball. And they just played a containing safety. And a good one it is. So who's going to win this safety battle?
Yeah, of course. He could play the brown here, half ball on the left-hand side as we look at it, run through, nudge the black to the top cushion, and the pink will stop the brown going in the corner pocket. Oh, but he's hit it all wrong. He wanted to hit it three-quarter ball, he's hit it half ball. Now, well, just getting down pretty quick, so he must be happy with the angle on the brown.
4.
But he still needs blue, pink and black. For a frame, well, after the first three, it looked as though Fraser was going to win that. He had a good chance to win it. Didn't take it, but then what happened afterwards? Nobody deserved that.
Nine.
Well, this will test him because he's not going to get his hand on the table. He's going to have to play this with the rest. Can he pot the pink and screw back for the black? If anyone can, Judd can. But with the rest, big question mark.
No.
You think no?
Well, if you can reach it, he can.
It's a long stretch, that, isn't it, when the cue ball's almost level with a blue spot. Fraser's not looking.
If he gets anywhere past the middle pocket, he'll be pretty happy. If he gets any further than that, he'll be brilliant. Goodness me, I couldn't have stood that going in.
Judd trump. 9.
He was asking a lot, particularly as he was stretching, so here you go, Fraser. Here's your chance to get your frame on the scoreboard. Don't think about anything. Just put in a nice stroke on this. Just the pink needed. As he floats it. Well, at least it's gone safe.
Very tense moments out there because he knows that 3-1 is in the match at 4-0. He could be out of it. Well, Fraser, your birthday. You deserve a bit of luck this frame, and I think you've just got it.
Yeah, and Judd will be very disappointed. That was a poor safety. So this pink to only be 2 behind at the mid-session interval.
It's tough out there when you haven't played on the TV table before and you're playing against a man who's obviously clearly in superb form. Everything looks difficult at the moment.
Yeah, I felt sorry for Fraser when Judd fluked the black and had a bit of run on the ball, but he's had his chance now. Only yourself to blame.
Six.
He may get another chance. Is he playing the pot?
You betcha.
Is he playing the pot? And he is, and I'm very, very disappointed. Fraser Patrick walks to the dressing room knowing that he should be trailing 3-1. That's not the equation. He's trailing 4-0, got it all.
Yes, 4-0 down, breaking off. Judd just having a look to see if this red has come far enough up the table so he can cut it into the left middle. It's a thin one. Maybe too thin. Yep, didn't play the pot, played the safety, but well, he's been a bit fortunate. He could have left the red he played. There may be one red just at the bottom of the cluster that would go, well, he's not come round to have a look, so I assume it isn't. So just running off this and trying to find the baulk cushion, which he hasn't done, so that's a little bit careless, and this red is on.
Got to make sure you push the red in the middle of the table though, John. I mean, that was such a poor safety shot. Okay, he's not had much table time, and he'd be very disappointed to have lost the 4th frame, but you can't make elementary mistakes like that.
Yeah, it's funny how your mind wanders. It was a straightforward safety shot, as you say. Should never have left the pot on. Just taking this brown on here to the left corner. Not quite.
Judd Trump, 1.
but played it in such a way that he knew that probably if it didn't go in, it stopped the red that would have been available into that pocket. Now covered by the brown.
Well, there is a gap in between the black and the pack of reds to swing this cue ball round if you want to take the pot on, but the brown's in the way, so he's not attempting that. He's just playing a thick safety shot. Got to be careful he doesn't push one of the reds over the corner. Now that's a better safety. That's more like it.
Yeah, and it just shows you the advantage of getting a good cue ball. It's going to be tough to get back to baulk here. In fact, no attempt, just played the containing safety. So, Fraser Patrick still with the upper hand. I'm just looking to see if there's a possible plant on, or maybe this red will just pass the brown, I don't know. It's tight. Oh, but well played.
1.
Very well played. Well, here's your chance. Get your first frame on the scoreboard. Good opening red. I suppose you could say I was a little bit careless of Judd not to come down this end of the table and see whether that red was on. But it only just went, but he played it perfectly.
Four. Five.
That shot's going to help the situation because obviously the brown's going to go out of the way now on its own spot and gives, with the black being an open play, it helps. Needs to get rid of the red on the black spot as quickly as he can.
Yeah, if you could get the cue ball in about that circle, well, a little bit harder. I was thinking red to the right middle and then play for the black. Looks like he's played for a red
9.
into the right corner to play on the black. Has he got the right potting angle though? Maybe he can run through and nudge off another red.
10.
He couldn't. That's why I thought if he played up to where the circle was, he'd be in the open.
Got a choice of reds as well, John, playing
Yeah.
your shot. I think he might be tempted to take the pink on here because he's obviously going to be very frustrated. The pink pots.
Good pot. Well, the reds couldn't be better placed
16.
for a sizable contribution. Just can't get past the pink for this easy red. I think the one closest to the cue ball looks as though, you know, didn't have to do a lot with it to get position on the blue.
Seventeen.
Yep. Nicely on the blue. Couldn't wish for a better opportunity than this.
Twenty-two. $23.
The problem with that, he was always going to finish low on the black, but he's got a few reds that in potting the black, if he just runs into them, will hold the cue ball. Now, where does the black go? Is it going to be available? Well, as you see, the black spot occupied, but the black will go into the right corner here because it can't be touching the red. So you would think
30.
there'd be enough room, or maybe not. Just having a look. You think it'd go? But obviously the red above it does. The black wouldn't have gone, so that's why he's playing this red.
31.
I'd like to see him play it a little bit firmer than that to make sure the black came well off the cushion. Good recovery though.
Yeah, made light of that.
38. $39.
Played for the pink, but I think he's just overrun it slightly. Or maybe he can just get through to it. Oh, he can. Just. That makes life so much easier.
They're not going in clean at the moment. He's feeling it out there, and who can blame him?
45. $46.
Surely he can't make a mistake from here. Made a mistake in the previous game when he was 59 points in front and on a break of 59. Would have been a really hard interval to think of anything positive really after the first session. So this is a very, very good break.
$51. $52.
So pink, red, another pink will put him past the winning post. I think what we've seen when the balls are open, John, is obviously very, very capable of playing at this level.
58.
Yeah, just the red Nakoa needed. Of course, he wouldn't be at the stage and playing one of the best players in the world if he didn't have the ability.
59.
And as when we were talking to John Parrott before the start of this match, you know, he's come from a very tough school. Produced so many players have come from Scotland since Stephen Hendry emerged on the scene. He set the standard,
66.
and quite a few have got very close to reaching that. John Higgins springs to mind immediately. Stephen Maguire, and he practices with those people, so he knows what's required. 65 points of lead, 59 remaining. This is tricky. This is very tricky. Yeah, a bit too difficult. Now, will Judd bother
Fraser Patrick,
carrying on?
66.
2 snookers required. He is coming to the table, but should be enough to get his first frame on the scoreboard. He'll be feeling a bit better about that. Oh, well, definitely Judd may give him the look now and say it's yours if you want it, but it's etiquette that you don't concede when it's the other player's turn at the table, because even Fraser here might want to have a bit more potting practice. So
One.
fair play to Judd. I'd give him the look though, wouldn't you? Say,
The option. Give him the option.
give him the option. It's yours if you want it.
8. Nine.
Starting to grow a little bit more confidence now with the way he's played the last couple of shots. And when you consider he could have won the 4th game, we could be looking at the 3-2 situation here rather than 4-1.
Yeah,
16.
and the way Judd played in the first 3 frames, that would have been
17.
something, wouldn't it?
$23. 24.
'Well, that was an excellent shot. Good cueing that
31.
was. So he's got the cue power.
33.
To manoeuvre the cue ball.
$36. 40.
Playing his own little exhibition shot there with lots of left-hand side. Well, it doesn't matter about the blue. The
Fraser
frame was
Patrick,
well and
40.
truly over
And
before then. It started with a lovely break of 66, so gets his first frame on the scoreboard. That should settle him down.
And the way that he got in there was a careless safety shot from Judd. Judd obviously has gone out into the interval, fallen in front, thinking he's going to have no problem. It doesn't matter what you do. You can't play a careless shot. He didn't even come round to look at the situation at this end of the table. It was a tough one to play, though, John.
Yeah, and I suppose if you don't come down at this end, then you think then not one of these reds will pass the brown, but he was wrong, and it's only those little fractions that make all the difference, and he did leave this red, and it just went past the brown. It needed a good pot.
Yeah, you couldn't see the left-hand jaw, could you, there? You could only see the middle of the
No.
pocket.
Couldn't have hit it better. And as I say, from there he made a break of 66, which in effect was the frame winner. So he proved that given one chance he can win a frame, and that's a good sign.
Not too sure whether his demeanour's going to making me believe he feels he can win this match at the moment, John. He doesn't seem to have that look about him that wants to get on with the game and things, but it's a massive test for him.
Well, absolutely, and particularly the first 2.5 frames when Judd never looked like he was going to miss a ball. So that in itself is a bit of a shock to the system. You think, what am I playing here?
Well, he certainly wouldn't have played anybody playing better than that over a space of 3 frames.
Thank you. Frame 6. Judd Trump to break.
So I think on reflection of the way the match has gone, Fraser Patrick deserves at least one frame, which he's got now. Can he continue that and get another one on the board in this frame? He's got a shot to nothing here.
One.
Good pot. Needs to run back out of the balk area. And just about, I think. May just be on the yellow. But whether he can control the cue ball, it'll be a very thin pot. Will it slow up? No, so thin that, particularly on these very fast tables, difficult to hold.
Judd Trump, 3.
A little bit disappointing he'll be there to have caught the green. He was close to the red, should have found the baulk cushion. Makes it that much easier now for Fraser to play a better safety shot than that. This looks like a better safety. Good line. What about the length? Good length as well. There may just be a gap to get through to the reds near this top cushion, near the left-hand corner pocket, but I don't think there's a path back to the baulk end. There's the gap, but trying to get back to baulk is fraught with danger. And if he plays the roll full length of the table, even on these tables which are perfect, well, there's no such thing as a perfect table because you can always run over a bit of chalk, a finger mark. He's played the pot and got it.
1.
He decided he couldn't risk the roll up, so he went all out for the pot, got the pot, and you have to say, a little unlucky. He's not on the black, the pink's not available. So just having to
Black ball.
trickle off the black here.
Fraser Patrick, 1.
Forced into the pot in many ways, but as I say, having got it, could have been a little bit more fortunate to be on a colour.
That's another tough one to get back to baulk. And at first glance, I can't see a way back. The red 2 down from the pink. I think you can see that half ball, and he could get the cue ball into a similar position to what it is now if he hits that perfectly.
Yeah, would you think he maybe need a little bit of side on it?
Well, he's not playing it anyway, so we'll never know.
Didn't want to risk trying to go back in the balk end, and you can't blame him because that red that's closest to the cue, well, the one that Fraser's playing safe off now, he'd have been concerned about leaving that on as a pot. Well, he's covered the right-hand side of the table, but can Judd get through to this red over the corner? I think if he could, he'd have played it by now. No, the brown is covering the potting angle. So here's a Judd special, deep screw back to the balk end, but didn't get into it enough. That's why he caught the blue. And lucky not to leave an easier starter. He may have left a pot on, but it looked for a moment as though he was going to leave a sitter to the right middle.
It was an almost a shake of the head from Fraser there, and I couldn't blame him. I mean, how he's not left an easy red having hit that safety shot so poor. He's trying to get right back into the balk. In fairness, he hit the red too thin. If he'd hit it thicker, he'd have probably got the desired screw back. But look, when that kisses, you'd expect to have a straight red in the middle. So what little bit of good fortune is going at Judd's way at the moment? Big target in behind blue and green here with the safety shot. Should get there. Got to hit it, Fraser.
It's opened it up a bit. Good safety, good length with the cue ball, and the black now in play. Red's in the middle of the table. And once again, depends. There's two reds on the right hand side of the table. If he can get past the brown, he should be able to play safe off of one of those. But if he can't get past the brown, then it's going to be very difficult to get back to the balk end. And the fact he's not even looking at it, I assume he can't get past the brown. Half-hearted attempt at the pot. The main concern for him was to get this cue ball near the top cushion, then the black would cover the possible red to the right corner. Looks to have done that. Apart from frame 4, which was a just over 28-minute frame, then it's been pretty quick snooker so far. There you go. 15 minutes, 41 seconds. But sometimes you get a lot of safety and then the ball starts to get tied up, and the green certainly come to his rescue there. Put his hand up and apologised, but he's had a bit of bad run himself, so look, can even itself out. Well, if it wasn't for the green, there'd be no hesitation taking this red on that's closest to the right corner. But hampered, it's a tough shot. Because as I've said before, when you're striking down like that, you can't get the cue ball, object ball in your own eye line. So he's playing this because he can get to the middle of the cue ball. It was a tough shot. Now, well, he's not got away with it this time. So the safety battle has been won by Fraser. Now he's got to make the most of this chance. First priority, you would have thought, get the blue back on its own spot.
And where the reds are spread, and the fact that he's made breaks of 59, 66 and 40 at his last 3 visits, if he does get the blue back onto its spot, you can see him scoring pretty heavily here, and he could get right back into this match. I think Judd was saying in his post-match conferences and just lately has been struggling to beat players ranked below in himself and probably not giving them enough respect. And of course I think sometimes, John, you can push the boat out a little bit too far. It's okay when they're all going in, they can't always go in.
Yeah, and sometimes you can take a liberty
6
with a player. But you've got to keep focused at this game. You take your eye off the ball, no pun intended, for a second, and it
7.
can cost you a frame. As we said earlier, doesn't matter how good you are, and the other man's at the table, you can't do anything about it. So Judd's going to have to sit there and wonder how many Fraser will score at this attempt. Now, the fact is that when Fraser potted the blue finished up going on the black spot. Well, that's not a problem because the blue is available into both corner pockets. Pink's in the middle of the table, available in
10.
to a few pockets, so a decent opportunity.
Well,
He's going to have to play, well, he's going to play the pink. Which is what he played for, so I presume when the pink's respotted it'll be nicely in the open. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, he's got the blue
17.
available into both corners, but only for one pot, because of course once it's potted the blue, it'll go back
18.
on its own spot. You'd like to play for the red that's closest to the left corner here if you could, and then you could play for the black. Because at the moment the black is only available into the right corner. And if he's straight on this
23.
red, he's going to give himself a bit to do.
Very poor positional shot that, wasn't it? Needed really to leave it vertically on the cushion so he didn't have to do too much with the cue ball. He's now going to leave himself a little bit more distance on black or pink than he wanted.
Yeah, well, the black I don't think goes into the opposite corner. But these are things he should have been looking at before he potted the blue. Yeah, you see the black. That's why I thought just roll the blue in, knock this red in, and then play for the black, and the black could have been available into both corners.
Well, from our conversation, it looked like the black potted, so it's an even worse positional shot than I thought. Got plenty to do with the cue ball now. Gets through the ball well though, John, doesn't he? In that shot with the rest, a lot of cue power.
Yep, but just a few inches short of perfect position. We got through it nicely. But the wrong side of the blue. He may have to try and go in and out of balk. I don't think he can just drop the blue in and leave himself an easy red. Well, that's what he's played. He's going to have to go back up for the blue
29.
here. But as we've seen, he's got plenty of cue power. Overstretching slightly though.
Seems to be blessed with a very good temperament, John. That's the good thing about Fraser. Commentator's
Fraser Patrick,
curse.
29.
Yeah, he just lost position, didn't he? And he got the wrong side of the blue, decided just to drop the blue in and leave this mid-distance red, but they're always missable. Just a little test now for Judd, because the last frame and this one, they've been having this safety exchanges, and it always seems to be Fraser Patrick who's coming out with the upper hand.
And Judd seems to be wandering about a little bit, looking around at the other tables. It's open plan, of course, here with the 4-table situation, and Judd was just looking around there to see what's going on the other tables. There he is again looking around, so I think he's lost a little bit of concentration in this match.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the last thing you want to start doing, looking at other tables. Just keep your eye on this one, but that was a poor safety shot. I suppose the only advantage for Fraser there that those two reds have tied up the black. At least Judd's got a pot to go at. Looking to see if he can play for the pink, but it's not easy to get on the pink to the middle pocket. I'd like to get back up for the blue.
One.
Twixt in between there. You know he's going to play the blue. Is it into the left middle or
Blue
the far
ball.
left corner? It's the middle. And then it goes. Played it nicely. Good shot.
6.
But this is the last of the easy reds.
Seven.
A good shot to bring that one into play. Still needs a good positional shot off this blue though. He'll probably play for the red that's just past the blue, but got to go in and out of balk. And played it pretty well. He's not perfect on this red, but that's as good as he could do, the pot in the angle he had on the blue.
13.
This obviously goes without saying. It's key to get top side of the blue here so he can play the little delicate cannon into the
15.
two reds. He won't be playing the cannon at pace. Just like to nudge them. So, well, he decided to leave the angle on the
16.
pink. It's the same scenario though. He hasn't played that great. This is missable, this pink. Been a lot easier to play out for the blue there, to play that cannon.
Yeah, he needs a good pot here. And you've got to concentrate on the pot, because the pot's not a certainty. But he's played it well. But it just ran through, and this is the problem. Once you run out of position slightly, you put all your concentration in the pot in the
22.
next ball, and then you run out of position again, and it snowballs, and it's not getting any easier. Choice of two reds to play into the left middle. But both tricky. Missed.
Judd Trump, 22.
So just that lack of cue ball control at a vital time has stopped him in his track, and he gets back to his seats and Fraser Patrick still has a 5-point lead. And we know where the problem is going to come. And that's the black tied up to the 2 reds. He's got to move them into open play if he's going to have any thoughts of winning the frame at this visit.
Yes, needs to get as close to this red as possible, so it makes it easier to get onto the pink to leave an angle to move the reds, and he hasn't played that well. If he goes top side of the blue, the angle's not on because of the pink's in the way. So ideally he would need to be on the pink to have any chance of bringing the reds into play. Now the
7.
angle on the pink, it looks pretty good. It's on. The cannon is on.
Yep, looks absolutely inch perfect. You always need a bit of luck, but one thing to remember, don't miss the pink.
Fraser Patrick, 7.
Anyway, as it turns out, he did get the cannon, but he's not left a red on.
That's a better safety shot from Judd. He's been found wanting on the last few safety shots.
Well, I knew he was sending the red towards the corner pocket, needed a good white, and I think he's got one. There you see it. So this puts a little bit of pressure on Judd's safety here. He's 12 points behind. He can't afford to leave a pot on here. Is there a gap? No. Can he see enough of this red by the pink to play the pot into the right middle? He's not much else to play for. If he can see enough of it, he's got to play the pot. And he got the pot. He won't be too concerned that he's not going to be good on a colour. Just a little trickle up now behind the green. Well, he's thinking brown because the brown, we get a little bit more margin for error because you can use the pink as well. But whatever he's done, he's got to cover the path to this red. Green's the obvious one. Well, he's playing brown.
Fraser
Yeah,
Patrick,
and that's why, because, as I say, more margin of error. Obviously an easy hit this for Judd. But it's the age-old problem. He's not hitting it. Can he get it safe?
Plenty of room around this, so he has to do it at pace.
Well, I can't believe he's gone that way.
Brown, the miss.
I really can't.
Fraser Patrick, 4.
You were talking about obviously side cushion, just fill the middle pocket, John, playing the one cushion, and then it gives you options, everything off 2 or 3 cushions, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that way. I mean, very hard to judge. And that could have cost him this frame.
Just lost his way, having played the opening 3 frames as good a snooker as I've ever seen played. The last 2.5 frames have not been so good.
Yeah, and he was gifted the 4th frame, the one before the interval. Where's that cue ball going?
1.
Well, he took a chance there. I'd have been making certain I was going nowhere near it, but he's okay, and he's just about on the brown. And now you would think a formality to put his second frame on the scoreboard.
And for all intents and
5.
purposes, it could be 3-all, couldn't it? I mean, it's just really a real turnaround.
7.
Got to give him credit there. It's his first time on television, first time he's played such a high-ranked player in a major tournament, and he's adapted himself pretty well today. He'll be back whatever happens. At the moment in time, who knows, he might get right back into this match now.
10.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Willie. You give him credit because the way Judd started, like a house on fire, I mean, a lot of people could have weakened and just lost their game. But
14.
he stuck at it, and he's getting his rewards. The cue ball's close,
Foul.
but it won't matter.
Fraser Patrick,
The
14.
frame was
5. Judd Trump.
well and truly over. I think we'll get a nod from Judd. Well, he's thinking about it. 31 points behind. Sorry, 26 now. Yeah, 18 on the table. 2 snookers required. It's worth a go.
It's Fraser's turn to have a bit of good fortune.
I think that tells me Judd's had enough of this frame, really. He's carrying on because that's what you've got to do. So let me have a look. No, it's no good potting the blue. If you pot the blue 2 snookers on the pink, that is asking a lot.
Come on, John.
Where's the cue ball gone?
Foul.
I knew you were late.
Fraser Patrick, 5.
I was wanting you
Frame
to say it.
conceded.
Frame conceded. So, Judd Trump, who started off like a flying machine, but slowly but surely, Fraser Patrick is just clawing him back. He's now only 2 behind.
Okay, back we go. Frame 7.
So, breaking off, and hoping to reduce his arrears to just 1. Now, let's see how this safety exchange turns out. Because the last couple of frames, it's Fraser who's been getting the advantage. Went all out for the pot there.
You've seen the best and the worst, haven't we, in one little session from Judd Trump. Probably the best he's played for a long, long time in the opening 3, and almost, you'd have to say, the worst he's played in the last 2.
Yeah, but I think, as we're saying, he's probably just lost his focus slightly. I mean, we keep harking back to the Barry Hawkins, Nigel Bond game. But he is having this tendency, as you mentioned a few moments ago, that he's looking across at how the other match is going on the other table. That double's close.
1.
Well played. So, first chance to Fraser.
And he has the chance of playing the aggressive shot here. He'd be very unlucky not to be on a red if he goes into them. Well played. They hit those as good as any player does in that kind of situation. Hit those really well. A little unlucky not to have a straightforward red on. He's got one in the middle, but it's not straightforward with the fact that he's got to do a little bit with the cue ball.
Yeah, I think if you could just roll it in, it'd be fine, but I don't think the blue is available into the opposite middle, so a little unlucky.
Nine.
If the blue would have been available into the left centre, as I say, it would have just been a formality, but it's come a bit awkward here. That cue ball's a lot closer to the cushion than he would have liked.
Fraser Patrick, 9.
No, it did everything but drop. But it just shows you how the run of the balls can just change. He's missed the yellow. I presume he played for the red to the left middle, but Judd's so badly hampered that he can't take that on. He might have left himself open there for the sucker punch. It's an easy safety shot off this red next to the brown. Don't know whether he can get the snooker behind the brown. No, I didn't want to risk that. So if you don't want to risk that, you've got to try and get that cue ball a lot closer to the baulk cushion than he has done. There's half a chance here for Judd. He needs to start knocking these in again. Well, he can cut the red into the middle. Just starting to hit them. He was stroking them a little bit more in the opening exchanges, but he'll be getting a little bit concerned now.
One.
As we said at the start of the match when we were discussing Fraser Patrick's game, because Willie and I have never seen him play before, but we know he's got a very good background with the people he practices with, and he'll watch the moves they do when they break building and in their safety play, playing with people like John Higgins and Stephen Maguire. So he wouldn't have come into this match frightened of Judd in any way. And he's proved that. The way he lost the first 3 frames, he was just blown away. There's a plant. It's handy.
5.
Always knew he had the yellow over the corner pocket. Well, he'd like to have that
7.
one again. No easy pot now. Pot's on, but no certainty.
As John mentioned, a pressure pot this. It's one of those, if you play this to just screw it in the middle pocket and get on the black, you can play it as a shot to nothing. But if you run it in, I mean, the ideal, the red's in the way just to play the 2 cushions, so he's got to screw it in off 1 cushion. He's not playing it, he's playing the cut. That looked very dangerous to me, because I think if he'd have potted it, he'd have kissed the 2 reds.
Fraser Patrick,
Only the fact
7.
that he missed the pot, he missed the cannon. But the run of the ball is turning, isn't it? What an amazing game.
Well, that's what happens at snooker. I'm not saying Judd has taken any liberties by any means, but he had a good run of the ball early on in the match, and now it's completely turned the other way.
Doesn't have to play this firm. The firmer you play it, the more chance you've got of missing it. Just play the little close cannon on the pink, push the pink towards the middle. I'm surprised he's not played the pot there, because the one thing for certain, Judd will play the one that's to the left of the yellow. That was a very poor shot.
Well, I'm not quite certain what he played there. I mean, if he thinks Judd is going to turn down this red here near the baulk line, well, he's got another think coming. Can't believe he's just gifted him a chance of this pot.
Well, I can only presume he meant to leave it, hampered, so Judd wouldn't play the pot, but whatever. I mean, you've got to play the pot there.
Well, Judd needs to start that Juddernaut rolling again. Well, he has turned it now. Got a good cue ball. It's the balance at this game, though, isn't it, Willie? Between attack and when to defend. Now, he's taken us both by surprise there, Judd. But maybe he's just thinking, well, hang on a minute, I need to get myself back in this, so just put a bit of pressure on this young man.
And that's as good a safety shot as he's played. If he's covered the red in with the brown, that's an excellent shot.
Well, this red just the rise of the black will pot, but it's fraught with danger. Just avoided the double kiss, but this red is going close to this right corner. Now has the pink come to his rescue? It has. So the run of the ball is still favouring Fraser. It's turned around, has to be said. It was running Judd's way early on. Not anymore.
Yeah, Judd's confidence gone a little bit at the minute, because this safety shot looks pretty straightforward. I suppose he's worried about kissing the pink on the way back, which he's avoided. Quite lucky, really, to left himself hampered with the green. But this is probably forced Fraser into taking this long pot on. There's room round the back of the black.
Yeah, just solid pot. Moves that cue ball. Well, I was saying stop short of the baulk line, but with the green not being on its spot, he won't mind it running on a bit. He's getting down to play this pretty quickly, so he must have a nice angle on the green. You can always tell if a player sort of thinks about where he's going to play a shot, then he takes a little bit longer, but
4.
down quickly enough. Now he's got a nice angle on this red to come for the black, but those two reds to the right of the black, just got to avoid covering himself. And because of that, decided to play for the black into the right corner. Could have done without that kiss on the red near the cushion. Nicely played. Just get the feeling, Willie, he's growing in confidence.
Absolutely, John. If he gets nice on this black, you can see him winning the frame at this visit.
Thank you. 13.
I suppose there's one little cannon here that could go wrong. If he plays either cannon, the one directly above the black or the one to the right of the black, it could go wrong. The reason I say that, because he's now got to go up for pink or baulk colour.
20. $21.
Just about perfect on the brown. But once that cue ball starts having to travel up and down the table, you don't automatically get precise positional play. But he's played that well. Frame at his mercy now.
25.
From what I've seen today, I'm surprised he hasn't made more centuries in a
26.
competitive play than he has. And since he's been a pro, he's only made 9 competitive centuries, and he looks a lot better player than that. Play a little cannon into the 3 reds here. Just needed to get into them a little bit there. He's still okay, but it's a tricky little red now. Hit that full ball, there's no problem.
Yeah, but disappointed he didn't hit it full ball. So he's got a 49-point lead. Still 75 remaining. This is the frame winner. Got to fully commit to this, you would think. Just roll this red in. If you get on the black, that's the frame winner.
Fraser
You know, that's what I was saying
33.
when he was getting down quickly and playing certain shots. He was just slightly. If that had been straight, that red, it'd been an awful lot easier. But just off straight and trying to roll it in dead weight. Just found him out. So a good opportunity missed. So a let off for Judd. .24.5 minutes already this frame's been going. And the last frame was in its 28th minute. Judd not on a colour. Well, that was the time since Judd's last pot, 24.5 minutes.
Judd Trump.
He'd virtually won 3 frames earlier on in 24.5 minutes. It shows what a difference it makes, doesn't it?
Well, he's not snookering. Maybe Judd has purposely left a path to this red on the left-hand side of the table. It's not easy to play safe of it, and of course Judd would love this red in the middle of the table in play. Well, kissing the brown. Maybe give Judd a chance of a pot here, but he's not been knocking the long ones in the last few frames. Just not going in now, are they? No, he's been lucky there.
The run of the ball's returned.
Well, that's why we say the longer the match is, the more chance the run of the ball has to even out. Did you find that, Willie, or was it always just run against you?
Always against me, John.
Yeah. Ooh, striking down here. No hand on the table. Well.
No,
He-
you cue down on it.
Well, he can cue down on it all he
Okay,
likes.
foul. Judd trump 4.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Judd asked, was that a push? The referee said no, he was striking down on it, but I think Fraser said, I think it was a push. That's when the tip of the cue hits the cue ball and the object ball simultaneously. Well, the referee didn't want to give it. Now, if he's got this right, could come up behind the blue. This could be a telling shot. Beautifully played. .44 lead, but he could see it disappearing very quickly if he doesn't get this safe. Now, I think the Reds are trying to nestle onto are the two that are closest to the top cushion, but just trying to work out how you can get there. I mean, the obvious one is to come off the baulk cushion and come down. You could go that way. Always difficult to judge though when that first cushion comes up early.
He's got to play a lot of check side, isn't he, to straighten it up.
Or you play the hit and hope.
Let's just see if we can straighten it up enough. He doesn't want to go to the left-hand side of the Reds. He has straightened it up, but has he gone to the left-hand side?
He'll settle for that.
Judd's going to be forced into playing the plant here because he doesn't have to do too much to the cue ball to get onto the black.
Well, you say that, but with that red being adjacent to the right middle pocket, what about playing the red in off the pink?
Yeah, not bad. But then, of course, the colour, you only got yellow or green you can play for if he moves the pink.
Well, fair comment.
Gone very careful all of a sudden, Judd, and I don't blame him because he's got himself lost at the minute and he's just trying to get himself back into this match. Obviously, he's still a strong favourite, leading by 4 frames to 2, but just needs to gain control again. He's lost it at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I did suggest it, you know, because you think of Judd, he's always looking for a pot, but yeah, and I think this is what we were saying earlier. I'm okay, the last couple of frames haven't gone his way, but he's now prepared to wait a little bit and get the good safety that could create you an opportunity. You got a good snooker before that didn't, but Fraser will do very well here not to leave a pot on. Because that red, just to the right of the blue spot, looks like a real big blocker to me. He'd like to nestle up to the red that's closest to the top cushion. That's the red I'm referring to, but that red just to the right of the blue spot is probably just stopping that line. See, that's the line I'm looking at, but you just look at that red. That line's almost touching that red. Can he avoid that red? Oh, well, he's hit it completely. All wrong. Well, if he's played it that way, good luck to you. But it was never going to be safe playing it that way. That was the problem. I think it was a complete misjudgment, to be honest with you.
1.
Well, Judd's 43 points behind now. You can see the next 5 reds, 5 blacks. And of course, I put him just in front, so he's going to need brown to blue now. As you can see, brown to blue is going to be very difficult.
8.
But it just shows he's played those couple of good safety shots, turned down chances of pots, and he's now got his reward, a chance.
9.
The fact that Judd's left-handed, of course, makes the blue not a real problem. Even though he's 28 points behind, he's now favourite to win this frame, to get one away from victory. But the way the last 3 frames have gone, I'm not too sure whether he can clear it this visit.
17. 23. 24.
Now the work starts, isn't it? And what colour is he going to play on the last red to make things easier? Has he left this dead straight?
30. 31.
13 behind after the pink it'll be 7. So not only brown to blue, blue to pink is going to be a problem as well.
Played that nicely.
37.
He's absolutely perfect on the yellow.
39.
Now needs a nice angle on the brown. I mean, I suppose you could risk trying to develop the brown. But no, decided he'd leave an angle.
42.
But if he's too straight, he'd be disappointed. But I think he's got a slight angle.
Can he just roll it in, John, or does he not have the angle just to roll it in and drop on the blue?
I think he has to punch it in.
Makes the brown difficult then.
Yep. I don't think it's just a straightforward roll. You've got to stun this in with a bit of pace. Well, no, he could roll it in. He left
46.
himself absolutely perfect, and he's perfect on the blue.
$51.
And there, the beautiful cue action. So Fraser had his chances here. He had a good lead, but Judd dug in, played some very good safety snookers. He created the opportunity. He took it. He's now back to 3 frames in front, and more importantly, just 1 frame away from
Stephen Maguire and John Higgins, all them. I mean, you'll find out very quickly playing them whether you still know you can play at that level.
And I'm sure that everyone in the Craig Park Masters is still cheering him on. He's still in this game, still fighting, but Judd Trump is 1 frame away.
And will it be this frame, Hazel? That's the question. He seems to regain his focus. That's an excellent safety shot. Now Judd's got his iron again. He'll play the thick safety. I think he might be able to pot the one behind the back of the pack there. Can he see enough of it? He thought he could.
whenever you're playing that shot, you always err on the side of hitting it too thin. And that way you know the cue ball's going to go back to the balk end and the red you played stay in this area. So there's a lot of pressure now on Fraser with these safety shots, with Judd just being 1 frame away from victory. He's done well to get back in the match, but well, he's left the red to the corner. The green has come to his rescue somewhat, leaving Judd hampered. But for that, this red would be a certainty. It's not striking down as he is. He's taking it on though. Oh, and a terrific pop.
One.
That was a good shot, believe me. Right in the heart of the pocket. I think the thing is, if he hadn't have been hampered, he'd have played it a bit slower and played for the black, but he was trying to get the cue ball back to the balk end just in case it didn't go in. Well, a couple of little flicks off reds, but no harm done. He's on the red that will get him on the black.
Six.
All of a sudden there's that little bounce in his step that he had earlier on in this match. That was an excellent opening red. The thing is, when you're queuing down on the ball like he was being hampered by the green, you just got to hit centre ball. If you put any unwanted side on there, there's no way in the world you pot those.
Decided to go up for the blue, but he's not got the perfect angle on the blue. He's got a slight angle, but there is a red that's loose to the left, so he can play for that. So just 2 open reds. You'll be thinking already on how
19.
he can bring other reds into play sooner rather than later.
20.
To say there's still 1 loose red, and he'll have to play for that loose red because he's not got the angle to go into them. So leave yourself low on that red, on this red, and in potting it, bring other reds into play. The only thing is with this, you're never certain to be on
27.
the colour. Black
28.
doesn't go in the right corner. Pink's not available. He's not good on the colour.
Might just tempt him, the fact that the green's off its spot, to try and cut this blue in. With the green being off its spot, it made it a chance, but has he got away with it?
Judd,
Not left anything
28.
straightforward. Okay, the red in the middle is one of Fraser will be taking, but he could have been left with something easier than this.
One.
Nice pot. The fact he's given this a bit of thought means that he's not perfect on the green, but there is a red near this right corner, so he doesn't have to do a lot with the cue ball. Well, I'm certain he tried to move that red, but thought he'd be on this red to the right corner, but he is, but badly hampered by the yellow. This is a tough shot. Well, what's he seen in the cluster? Is there a plant? Will it pass that red near the right corner? I'm not certain that's on. Well, he thinks it is, so he's going for it. Is he right? Oh, it looks good now. Oh, just to the jaw.
Fraser Patrick, 4.
This is a plan. It always looked the way he was hitting it. If he was right behind it, he could have hit the first red fuller, but because he was hitting it and not even the second red full in the face, it was always going to go to the jaw, and Judd has played in the meantime an excellent safety. Normal escape would be just roll down, come off the side cushion to this red closest to the top cushion, but the green's in the way of that shot. Trying to get back to balk is nigh on impossible. He's in a spot of bother here.
Yeah, cheers.
And he's got to get this save, so he's playing the swerve now to hit this red on the left hand side of the table. This isn't a formality. Very well played.
A little unlucky there, wasn't he? Just kiss that red. OK, this pot's on, but if it's dead straight, Judd will do remarkably well to not going off. It's one of those where you're almost forced into playing it cushion first.
Or just rolling it, trying to knock the red in and not play for the colour. I think if you try to pinch a bit of the pocket, you're going to miss the red here. Just roll it in.
I don't think he'll be rolling anything in here, John.
Well, that's what I say, but if you play it at that pace, it could go in the middle.
One.
Well, would you believe it? Would you believe it?
I don't think I suppose if you hit them that hard occasionally, you could give him the pockets every chance, but he didn't have some flukes, this boy.
Wow, and look at that. Is there a gap? Is there a gap? Would be amazing, wouldn't it, to fluke the red in the middle and find a gap like that.
Well, if he played it really slow, he could pot it beside as we see this fluke going again, but he's decided that the black is not on. Now, how's the blue? It's looking good to me. Just going right-hand jaw. Did that drift,
Good
John?
job.
I think he's looking at it. It did. I thought it was in when he hit it.
So did Judd. So did Judd. Now, let's have a look. Did it turn? Yeah, it's just turned slightly, hasn't it? But that could be anything. It could be a finger mark, a little bit of chalk dust. That's the problem. As I say, they can't be the perfect table because of the hand marks and there's a bit of chalk. So, an opportunity for Fraser to get right back in this frame. Not going to be easy. He couldn't win it at this. You wouldn't win the frame at this visit, but he'd be happy to get back to his seat with a lead, and that's not beyond the realms of possibility.
Played that nicely. He'd
Six.
like to be straighter on this red, though, so he could just roll it in 2 or 3 inches and leave the three-quarter ball black. The fact that he's just slightly off straight means he's got to be a little careful if he decides to play for the black. I think he'd be better playing for the blue here. You can just run through a little too far sometimes, and has he done that? Surely not. Well, that's very poor.
Well, very, very careless.
Fraser Patrick, 7.
Shown a lot of self-control, though. I know a few people that have, after snookering themselves on the black like that, Willie, would have gone for the yellow, trying to keep things going. So, showing a lot of self-discipline.
Yeah, I think what he showed today is going to be a hard player to beat, whatever happens in the future with Fraser. As long as he doesn't miss easy shots, as he did do in the opening frame. He's got a nice all-round game. He looks to have a good temperament.
Been a funny match this in a way, hasn't it? All started off with all guns blazing, and since then it's been very pedestrian. Last couple of frames. Oh, there's a fluke for Fraser. Well,
One.
I suppose it has to turn around eventually. Well, you've had a few, Judd, so you can't complain. But you can. It does you no good anyway, does it? You complain, you don't get anything out of it. But he hit the red much too thick, that's why he cannoned the other red, and in the pocket it went. Now, so you can kiss the... Oh, we need that to run on a bit harder. He's on nothing. He's on absolutely nothing. Of all the places in all the world, you have to finish up there.
And that's the first
Fraser
careless
Patrick,
safety
three.
shot he's played for some time. Hit that a lot thicker than he wanted. Now, if Judd can avoid the kiss on the red on the cushion, he'll take a pot on here. If not, he'll play safe. Playing safe. Kiss must have been on. And this is a very, very good safety shot. That's very well played.
Yeah, when he's really put his mind to it, and particularly in the last frame, he played two excellent safety shots, which in the end give him the opportunity to win the frame. But that's a good reply. Yellow will be the blocker here, and it looks as though it's going to be a blocker on all reds. Well, it looks like he can get round off two cushions and nestle up to this red that's closest to the top cushion. Don't want to run round the back of it though. Played it well. Good shot. At the moment, there's no path back to the balk end without a risk. And of course, Fraser knows that one more mistake, and that could be his last in the UK Championship for this year. Not really put Judd in any trouble there. And I'm sure Judd can think of a better safety shot than that. And he's a bit concerned, those two reds together, if he flicks off the left-hand one, will he knock the right one over the corner? As you can see, they're not a plant. So that's what's concerning him. So, change your mind. But if you're going to play that, you've got to screw the other side of the black, and a possible snooker was missed there. Well, can he pot this red in the middle and stun across for the black into the right corner? He can. And it's a good pot. Careless for Judd to leave him an opportunity of that.
I thought that was just going to catch the near jaw, John, didn't you, when he played that?
Yeah, well, it just flicked the near jaw, but not enough to keep it out of the pocket. So Judd sits in his seat, probably thinking, I made a bit of a mess of that last safety.
9.
Now, looking for problems. When he pots this black, Fraser will go 1 point in front. He won't need the pink. So there's no problems, really, between him and the winning line in this frame, you wouldn't have thought.
16.
Only of his own making.
17. 24. 25.
Well, you don't want to be too straight on the green. He's a little scratching his head, so he has come too straight on the green. That's a little bit careless. If he had a nice angle on the green, he'd just stun it in and play for the red in the opposite centre pocket. But he doesn't look as though he can do that. So he's having to play this red into this left corner. Now, don't get me wrong, in normal circumstances you wouldn't expect him to miss this, but it should have been easier. But if he pots this and gets on the colour, frame in the back. Solid.
29.
Solid. Well played.
Yes, came to the table some 15 points behind, and the reds were spread nicely. We expected him to get back into the frame, but now we expect him to win the frame now.
36.
Glance at the scoreboard will tell him 21 in front, so the green is frame ball. So well played, Fraser. Kept the match alive.
$43.
Made a break of 59 in losing the fourth frame, but 66 in winning the next. Didn't make a break in getting to 4-2.
54 on the frame.
The next break of 54, the clearance of 54. Judd Trump's still got something to think about, but he still leads by 5 frames to 3.
Got other ideas about this. He's certainly proved his stickability, if you like, and he's not lost his cool. And he could have quite easily have done when he was 4-0 down at the mid-session interval. But he's stuck at his task, and he's not going to give this match to Judd Trump, that's obvious. Well, just played that, but He's given a chance here for Fraser and just dropped his red into the left middle. I don't think he'd be leaving anything, and of course if it went in, he'd be on the black. Ooh, just caught the near jaw. So close.
Always best to catch the near jaw than the far jaw if you're going to miss it, because at least you get away with it that way.
Just a bit short of pace. So Judd, with his hand on the table, should be able to play a better safety than that. But he won't have done if he kisses the brown. No, that's average. And left a possible pot on. Whether Fraser can manoeuvre the cue ball to get position on the black or not is another matter, but it's a potter if he decides to take it on. Well, that was an unexpected plant. He was just playing the safety there. That came out of the blue. So Judd, back in his seat, he got up, was ready to come to the table. And a nice angle on the brown here. Oh, yes, right in the heart. It looked as though it was going to catch the near jaw. Has he run far enough?
5.
Yes, he's on this red. He'd like to have been straighter on it, but he's on it. How can he avoid the kiss on the red near the top cushion? He did.
6.
Played it nicely. Now, where is the black? Is the black spot covered? I'm having a look now. And if the black spot isn't available, it'll go up and onto the yellow spot, I think. And then it'll be out of commission for all maybe but one pocket.
In knowing that, though, Johnny's got to leave a better angle on this red than he has. He could have played it really slow and left a half ball
18.
angle on this red. Plenty of work to do now to get the cue ball back up for the blue.
Yeah,
14.
really, he's only got the blue, brown or green to play for. And he's not got the right side of the blue, so it's not going to get any easier. Well, has he screwed back far enough? He wanted to screw back. There's a blue covering the path to this red to the corner.
19.
Now he's okay. He's just off straight, so he can run back up for the blue. But this is the last of the easy reds. Hit across it. And that could be costly
Fraser
because
Patrick,
he's left
19.
a nice easy starter for Judd. The only thing is that Judd will have the problem that Fraser was going to have, as we see him miss that. Disgusted with it as he is. There's only the blue
1.
and a couple of bought colours to play for. Don't see in the immediate future how Judd can get the black back on its spot. But I suppose from Judd's point of view, he'd just be glad to be back at the table.
Yeah, absolutely, you would have expected Fraser to score a few more points than that. Now, if he's on this red half ball, he can get onto the black. Because he can play for the black in the green pocket.
6.
Looks a little bit too difficult to do that this time, though.
7.
Doesn't have a good angle on the brown, doesn't have a great angle on the blue, be playing into the pink. Doesn't have to play it too hard, but Judd likes to play these hard. Yeah, that's the way I thought he would play it. Perhaps a little unlucky not to get easier on this red. He's hampered. But at least he's got a red on.
12.
Yeah, he just didn't have that little bit of stun on the cue ball, did he? If you stun it, then the cue ball stops when it hits the pink. He just ran through a little bit. This is tricky red. Played it nicely.
13.
And may play the same shot again here. Pot the blue, cannon into the pink. Because he wants to bring the pink into play, if he possibly can.
Missed the pink this time, didn't he? Well, he caught it quarter ball. He played a hit it half ball. And if he
18.
guesses it full ball, the pink's bound to spring out. But as you see there, just caught it quarter ball. Didn't make it move very much. So it's still not certain to score more than about 40 points at the minute until he gets pink into play or black on the spot. It's a tough ask.
That red makes the
19.
points all square.
And he'll be disappointed he hasn't got the angle to play that shot he has played already twice in this game. The angle to play into the pink, he didn't have it that time. He'll get right side of the blue in a second and play that cannon again.
24.
Yes, and of course he wants to be playing it while he's still got that red over the right corner.
I think that's the reason he's thinking of playing for the black off this red, John, because he knows he hasn't got to do too much for the cue ball. No, he's played for the blue.
25.
He looked at playing for the black. Now a little slow cannon. Doesn't matter if he hits the outside red this time, because it will free the pink into the middle and the corner.
Now he's got the balls in a position where he'll be thinking, I can win frame and match.
Just shows you how important it is to get a big colour in play, and it took Judd 3 attempts
31.
to get that pink into play, but eventually he's got it. Fraser Patrick can only look on, and he knows from what he's seen today he can compete at this level. Okay, he beat Ryan Day in the previous round, and he's starting to climb up the rankings, but it would take a lot of positives out of this, John, wouldn't he?
Well, and yes, he's certainly got the ability. He's shown that in flashes. Okay, he's 29, which seems to be old now when you talk about some of the young lads coming through.
37.
But he's still got plenty of time ahead of him. He's not got many miles on the clock.
He had that 3-year sabbatical, as Hazel mentioned. Judd's had a good look at these two reds, and surely the top one will pot
38.
into the corner. He'll have another look now because he's nicely on the pink. I mean, that's got a pot.
Well, one of them will. And he's come nicely on the pink, so he can play for a choice of the two. Slowly but surely building up his lead.
44.
Certainly, I think, as you say, Willie, the right hand, one of the two goes. The left one, no, maybe not.
$45.
He knows now he's got the frame and match at his mercy. Reflection, John, unbeatable the first 3 frames, beatable in the next 3 or 4.
51.
So I think he's got to be a little bit more careful if he wants to go on to win this UK Championship.
Yeah, it all started off very well, and I think he likes a clean game, Judd, and then for a while, 4-0, I think he thought, well, I've won this match
52.
and started to just push the ball out a little bit. And as we said, he was looking at the other match on the other table and not really focusing on the table he should have been concentrated on. So just let his mind drift.
58.
But the last couple of frames, he has dug in. And
Knuckled down, hasn't he? Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
59.
Not happy with the contact there.
yeah, and he's only looking for the colour. 2 and 3. Well, 2 hours, 45 minutes coming up. 2 3/4 hours. This pink will put him 46 points in front with 43 remaining.
Well played, Judd. He'll be pretty pleased to have got this match out of the way. Of course, he
65.
came into it in a no-win situation, really. He's obviously strong favourite to beat him. But when all of a sudden he's got a little bit closer, he would have been twitching a little. He's back.
Well, I think that means that Fraser Patrick won't be coming back to the table, but he's acquitted himself quite well, as I say, losing the four frames as he did. And he should have won the 4th frame before the interval, but he's dug in there and he's shown character, as we see one of these beautiful exhibition
72.
shots from Judd.
$73.
He's already made 2 centuries in the match. Frame 2 he made a 129, frame 3 a 130. Chance of another century here. But he certainly looked, and we know
77.
he is capable of worry, but if he gets in early on of winning the frame in one visit in no time at all, just when
79.
there's been a prolonged tactical battle at the early part of a frame that he seems to have been losing out on. But that, you can give credit to Fraser
82.
Patrick for that, for just slowing him down and digging in there. But his race is run now. The only question is,
86.
can Judd get his 3rd century of the match?
Yeah, it's been great to watch, isn't it, when he's in the balls? Undoubtedly.
91.
He's in form.
$97.
And a nice way to finish. The black for the 3rd century. Well played. Had a few shaky moments. Every credit to Fraser Patrick for making Judd pull out all the stops. He'll be back. We'll see a bit more of that young man. But in the meantime, Judd Trump marches on. And some of the form he's shown in some of the frames, he is a potential winner of this Coral UK Championship. He runs out comfortably a 6-3